Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations today. There's so many times I'm like, I'm not interested in coming online on social media to debate. A lot of times I really don't want to even say anything because you can get sucked into this rabbit hole of this internet. I want to share the positive, but that's not all of life, and I don't know how things can be resolved if we aren't able to have respectful dialogue and respect different points of view and perspectives. So, anywho, I was just feeding the rabbits in here. I got my garden hat on. And even if you're not trying to, I even turned off my computer earlier today so I would not be distracted by the computer, really making an effort to pull the computer use in and to rein it in because I realize it affects you after being on it. And then feeding the rabbits, doing a little bit of work on the computer, and something comes up on my feed. Something's always coming up on your feed, right? So remember, this whole thing is all of this social media is monetized, and our behaviors, what we're searching for, is mine. That data is sold. So really, the folks making most of the profit is the so-and-so Bergs and whoever owns these platforms, right? Just like the record industry, perhaps the influencers get a little teeny taste. In any event, something comes up about a little boy who it appears, not appears, he has taken his life, a very small boy. And as I'm watching it, I'm watching the report. In this particular case, it happens to be a young Caucasian boy, and he has taken his life at 12. He has ended his cycle here on this side of the planet. And I'm watching the newscasters give their report and their rendition. It's followed immediately with another report of two other children, another young boy who happens to be Caucasian, a little chocolate girl who their family members have taken their lives. And the reports after the main reporters, after talking a bit about the boy, I have to say, and y'all folks can let me know what you think in the comments, that this is so hypocritical. Like, I find it absolutely, the level of hypocrisy and cognitive dissonance is disturbing. And it's why I wonder sometimes, it just really makes me really want to sometimes, and this is just one woman's perspective, between my hair and not combing it and keeping it real, for me, sometimes it just keeps my eyes on. Makeup is a tool primarily. Shout out to UGC. Makeup is primarily a tool, right? I was just thinking of these folks. Let me cut to the chase. We are in a profitable bully culture. This is chocolate folks, vanilla folks, all the different the cult of person, the cult phenomenon right now, in different countries, the way that adults interact online. Bullying has been going on for the longest time. Bullying is celebrated in the music, in popular music. So, for folks to give, the thing that really got me was when these reporters, when they made recommendations from the therapists. Like, I'm like, are you friggin' kidding me? The level of hypocrisy is disgusting. Is absolutely disgusting, because most folks are not really serious about dismantling bully culture until it affects their children. And this is all of us. If we just take a look at the popular music, and I've worked with all different demographics of people. If a certain demographic that's very religious, and the folks that primarily own the record companies today, if they're
now we're working to learn more about what led to a Tooele County boy just 12 years.
If their children are not being affected, they don't care. I've been to people's homes where their children in current days don't even know the cartoon characters, most of the popular music. Shout out to them. They have their children insulated. However, it's good enough to sell this violent music. Somebody has to sign off on all of this stuff. And although we do know that we have more Africans and Afro people and African Americans have more ownership and are more of a face of the music. We're not primarily the owners. So my point is somebody has to sign off on this violent music. And it's a well-known fact, common sense, that children and young people, adolescents, even adults are affected by what is repeated over and over and over and taken out of context. The celebration of gangster and gangster rap. If that's not bully culture, what is? But just them making these hypocritical conversations, talk more to your children as if talking is enough, as if when your children step foot out of the door, there are $1 million campaigns to push music and a narrative on them. Right? So it's not as sincere. I don't get that there's really a sincere effort. There's not really a sincere effort to do away with the GUNS. It's not sincere. If we look at just the prevalence of bullies, if we look at reality TV, if that's not bully culture, women bullying women, if we look at all the hip hop shows and even the ones that we like, there's recently a hip hop icon who I really like for years. You can rationalize and justify the violence in the music. If this man now is in his 50s and is a parent and is still glorifying slinging and toting guns when he's somewhere living in a mansion somewhere, it's like, are you kidding me? It's just straight lying and deception. And I don't think that anyone really has a vested interest. I don't get that adults really care about the children. I'm not really getting that, no offense, from a lot of women or men based on our decisions. And also, as women, y'all could disagree respectfully in the comments as you like. At some point, what point will it be the season? Even young women will start to take accountability. If I choose somebody who is ill-prepared, if I'm ill-prepared, and we're not just talking money, if I choose somebody that is not committed by demonstrating inconsistent actions, that they are prepared to provide the things that a young human being will need. And the protection, children need protection, not only from you with money and security guards in terms of the type of community and the people they will be interacting with, the resources that they will need. If we are choosing poorly, then we are placing these little human beings in harm's way. It's a setup. If they don't get the protection, that they need, if they don't get the nutrition that they need, it's like between the autism, the obesity, the violence, it's like these children don't even have a chance. I just find it, to me, because I'm not claiming to be an empath. Because to a certain degree, I may be empathic and I'm very sensitive. However, am I really sensitive, or are most of us totally desensitized? And that's why I say it's a mindset. It's a mindset. It starts first with what we're eating. How we're eating is a mindset. We are totally desensitized to what we're putting in the body. If we really were honest, we're making violent acts against our heart, our arteries, our liver, our motor skills, and it's all fun. It's socially acceptable, slow suicide. Children watch this. The vast majority of the adults, we don't say anything. Even a lot of the religion is extremely violent. If we didn't just pick out choice little scriptures, most of the religious books are full of violence, screaming and teeming with violence. So just to hear these mental health professionals, and I could tell you for a fact, I know of professionals that work in the mental health industry, right? I've worked with them that are making recommendations for children and families who have all kind of jacked upness in their own families, but it's not transparent. Who have violence in their own families. It's not transparent, but are writing IEPs and intervention educational plans for other folks. Not transparent. You can't see what's going on at other people's homes. So we're on our own, but the hypocrisy, I just found it absolutely is stomach turning. We bully animals. We're bullying the planet. It's a mindset. So just when it's these news reporters or these mental health professionals are making recommendations for talk to your children, as if there's enough, as if there's not $1 trillion profitable campaign that supports bully countries. Our country is bullies. The countries are bullying each other. Have no care for whose head they're shooting the so-and-so BOMBs over. It's bullies all day and night. We pick our different political parties as adults, really not thinking and giving two hootie patoots or peach pits about the children. So if we could just stop with the hypocrisy about the bully culture, and only when it's certain groups. I feel for any child that takes their life, but are we really committed to getting to the root of this? Bull crap. I call BS a crock of friggin' crap. Excuse me, I'm a little passionate today because just the hypocrisy sometimes. It's like, if we can't be honest with ourselves, then we will continue to breed narcissists and children who are desensitized to violence. We can't even have honest conversations now. We are breeding desensitized children because of the environment, just like our cells are bathed in all kinds of toxic treats. Well, then the children are sitting in strollers with iPads and iPhones, where their precious, highly influential brains are being bathed in violence and violent video games for profit. I'm no proof, but I saw this years ago with what was the name of this game? Some kind of something drive-by or whatever. No one has the courage to stand up and say, I'm not going to support this with my dollars. I'm not going to support this. I'm not going to support this. So it may seem like all of this is not connected. I say, right? And it's not the men over the women in these different camps. We are all equally responsible, even if you don't have children, because of the climate that we're creating for these young people. And I do get it, right? Some folks you can't call out now because we've allowed it as a collective to get to such a point. We've allowed it to get to such a point that you could be hurt if you call someone out. I just say one of the biggest things I think as women that we can do, even young women, who you choose to lay with. Anytime you lay with this male or female, you are risking bringing a human being here who, if you are not prepared to give them all that they would need, you are potentially setting the tone for raising a narcissist because they didn't get what they needed. Not just financially, mentally, and emotionally. A lot of us are in no place to be parenting because we have so much unresolved issues. And we're projecting this off to the young people. That in a climate of bullying is a mindset. It's not, this is why I can't get with the religion today. And I've had my stint in all kinds of religions. Religion is not what you say and what you claim. Religion is what you consume, it's what you do on a regular basis. So just pure, blatant hypocrisy. It's disgusting hypocrisy. And that's what I'm saying today. I just needed to say something. Why can't we get that this is a mindset? You cannot escape how you really feel. Well, always how you really feel about yourself is going to be projected out onto other people, right? It starts with self. So if you have low esteem and unresolved trauma and lots of anger, it's going to show its face somewhere. It's going to get projected out onto the people that you love, your coworkers, your family members. That's why I'll say peaceful consumption is a mindset. I'm not even here to knock folks that eat flesh because I've eaten all of that. I've done it all. I've done it all. Just the level of hypocrisy as a species. Do we ever just sit in our quiet moments and think about this stuff? All of it is a very distinct pattern and mindset. And I have no illusions that I'm a martyr and I'm out here to change the world. I just have my fruits and vegetables, peaceful consumption, garden therapy, and a movement practice. That's what I have to offer. But I wonder if we're willing to have respectful conversations, if we're willing to pull our money back from supporting certain things as parents, as women. How do we still support? It's not about maybe perhaps bashing the person, it's the behavior. How do we continue to support with our dollars because we're not willing to withdraw from our toxic treats? So we also play a role in keeping this climate going by funding it and feeding the machine. And then in the other moment, we have cognitive dissonance and we complain. How can we be in shock? How can we be in shock? How can we be in shock at the SUICIDE, if I'm spelling it, I'm saying it quickly? How can we be in shock? Many of us probably in our private moments have these kinds of thoughts, even though we're mature, older adults, feeling very dissatisfied with life, feeling very depressed at, following all the rules and it didn't turn out the way you wanted, at what point do we slow down? Do we slow down so that we can apply some corrective action? I don't have all the answers. May seem overly simplistic, but I would say peaceful consumption, or at least the least harm possible. At least whatever you're eating, starting to be more cognizant of where you are taking it from. See, it's a mindset. Somebody else has to lose so that I can win. That is a mindset. That is a mindset. At least you had some indigenous people that they didn't eat flesh all day, when it was the season, when they had it, and it was very sparing. Today, just the mindset is, well, more vitamins. Let me just do keto and just eat meats and whatever all day. The point is not what you're eating, it's the mindset behind it. Is to take, to be a glutton, to be insensitive to other groups of people. That's whatever your package is, whatever your color is. We all find ways to justify behaviors that if we weren't so numbed out, and desensitized, if we were really honest, we know it's not on the up and up. I don't think that me being just treating people poorly is justified because I've got melanin. I mean, come on. So the same principle applies to all of us, men, women, chocolate, vanilla. We've all got stuff to clean up. It is glaringly apparent. It is too convenient to point the finger. It is too convenient. It's in our quiet moments that we can be quiet and see, what can I contribute? It might be you belonging to a food co-op. It might be you starting a garden, or just being more, choosing lifestyle practices that actually help us to cultivate a sensitivity to each other and to the planet. That is a mindset. So I just had to come on and say something as a woman, as a mother, as a human being, as a parent. Just the hypocrisy is off the meters. And at this point, it's like people can't actually believe what they're saying. Like, we have no idea. And it becomes the whole tone is different when other groups are affected. And I feel for any parent that has lost their child, but it's for us to take a look at the environment, the collective environment. And then also, if you look at, at this point, it's blatant. This culture is a bully culture. It's a bully culture, and there are bullies all over the planet, even in the so-called motherland, because it's still human beings. So it's up to us to apply corrective action. And, it's up to us to check our own hypocrisy. That's kind of hard because that's not how the ego is not wired for checking itself. It is very skewed in its thinking. It always wants to protect the status quo, that aspect of our mental conditioning. It's skewed. So it really, really takes something for us to make a conscientious effort to be quiet and to see that our consumption patterns is not only affecting us. I can do what I want to do. It's like the same thing with smoking cigarettes and choking everybody around you. It is a mindset. That's all I came on to say today. So I invite you all to try on peaceful consumption. You see, I didn't say vegan, vegetarian, keto, whatever that looks like for you. At least harm possible. Being reciprocal. Looking at what is coming in for your sustenance. Is there any way that that we can be reciprocal about what we're taking and putting back? It is a mindset. Check out Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. It's focused around whole, fresh, living foods that you could recognize. Whatever your label is, everybody can benefit from more whole, fresh, living, unprocessed plants. Those are the things that really strengthen the immune system against cancer. It's the plants. So wouldn't it make sense for us to compost and to put back and be respectful of the planet and at least not litter? Is that overly simple? So Whole Living Foods in the Hood, that's my offering. Raw vegan cakes. So you have something to look forward to, so you can see that it's actually really pleasant and it can be sustainable and affordable to eat healthy. It's revolutionary. Those three things: your personal movement practice. So we're not popping off on each other. Stress relief, your healthcare, all rolled up in there. Your garden therapy, even if you're in a small space, and peaceful consumption. I know it may seem overly simple, it's what I've got. Y'all create a great day on purpose just because you said so.